Well, howdy folks, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, making part 2 video for you out of Boise, Idaho on the 2002 Volkswagen Passat. We are doing a timing job on it, and as you can see, it is snowing. Wow. So I just wanted to take a minute and kind of just share with you some thoughts and ideas I have. This is what I think is really cool about my channel. I really want to try to cater as much as I can to you guys that are at home doing it yourself, and you may not even have as much experience as I have on a professional level. Maybe you're just doing this one time on your own. A lot of times people are going to tell you that you have to have a shop, you have to have a bunch of special tools, all this expensive equipment, and I'm here to tell you that in some cases, yes. Like on this VW, for example, you got to have Torx bits and hex heads and stuff like that, but those aren't expensive, and you can buy those tools at a place like Harbor Freight or Home Depot fairly cheap and use them once, get your car fixed super cheap, and then just move on down the road. You don't always need a lift, and you don't always need a shop. A lot of these jobs can be executed just fine. If I can do it out here in the snow, then I believe that so can you. So where are we at on this Passat? Well, as you can see, I've got the bumper basically, other than a few electrical lines, I've got the bumper and the whole front of this car completely disconnected and removed off, and it's just safely sitting hanging here right now. Looks like a huge mess, doesn't it? Don't worry, it'll all come back together perfectly. What started this timing job was it actually came in for a warranty, and I noticed it wasn't running correctly. It was acting up a little bit, and so I went ahead and I checked the timing belt on it and noticed that the timing belt is extremely wore out and cracked. Yeah, you can see all the cracks in it and stuff. All right, and so if you don't change your timing belt at the proper service interval on a Volkswagen, they are interference engines, and if they break, you'll end up having to buy a new engine. So I left you off last video with a couple of bolts installed here for this bumper assembly, just to kind of hang on to the frame there. I've went ahead and removed that and removed all my coolant hoses and all that other stuff, so I could just let this bumper just kind of hang out where it's at. That way I could get my impact gun or wrench or ratchet and get in here to get this main crankshaft bolt out so I can remove the harmonic balancer. Now that I'm in here, I'm very glad that I did suggest to go ahead and service this vehicle this way, because I've noticed that the water pump has been leaking. Look right here. And see, it's very slight, and you can see it's built up right there. So this was a real good call to make in order to go ahead and do this, because it probably would have only been a matter of time at this point before that timing belt broke and that water pump went completely out. So now my next step to do is I want to get the harmonic balancer off. I need to get these 4 bolts out, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll get the harmonic balancer off, and then I'll be able to get this last cover off, and then at that point I'm going to need to get this engine set to TDC so I can go ahead and pull the timing belt and the water pump and the tensioner and the idler and get all that replaced. Alright folks, so what I'm doing now is I'm getting the Volkswagen Passat set up so I can find what's known as top dead center, which is where the number 1 cylinder is, the piston is all the way up on the compression stroke, so that way I can go ahead and remove the timing chain. In order to fully confirm that, I go ahead and I pull the number 1 coil out of cylinder number 1. I just want to stop and show you something here. As I was doing that, I noticed that on the tip of this coil there's oil. That's not a good thing, and so I probably need to stop and ask if they want me to go ahead and also change out the valve cover gasket as well, because that's just going to be something else that's going to cost them more money in the long run. So just wanted to stop and show you that for a second. I'm going to go ahead and move forward. It's actually snowing now as we're working on this, so I'm going to go ahead and get this set to top dead center and confirm it, and then probably call it a day. Now I've got everything off down here, and this is going to be my timing mark here. So I need to line it up right here, and I'm just going to do that by turning that real quick. And then here's some more proof that that valve cover gasket needs to be changed. Those grommets are leaking, so this is not a good thing. You know what? These are the original Audi plugs or Volkswagen plugs, so that's pretty interesting. All right, folks, so here's the deal. I've got a low battery on my camera here, and it's also snowing. So I went ahead and I pulled my plug for cylinder number 1. In the process found that we probably need to go ahead and pull the valve cover and change out the grommets and all that stuff for the spark plugs and whatnot. I still need to set TDC, but because my battery's low and it's snowing, I'm just not going to get to that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and then the next video will show me turning the engine over, setting TDC, and then releasing the tensioner, removing the belt, and reinstalling the belt. So I'll go ahead and make a part 3 so you can see that I need to get this buttoned up before a bunch of snow gets down in the engine there. All right, folks, well, this is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. I greatly appreciate you coming out and supporting me and watching my channel. Check me out on Patreon and check me out at GoFundMe.com. I got a few cool projects that I'm trying to work on that helps other people out that can't necessarily afford the car repair bills. And on Patreon, I'm trying to set up a service where you guys can interact with me one-on-one and get help with your car repair. So once again, thanks for the support. I am signing off on this snowy day.